Born and raised right here in Music City, Janice Jackson's knowledge of the intricate workings of the music publishing aspect of our industry. Her love for music has driven her, and she humbly acknowledges her good fortune to have made a living in such a rewarding way. Janice's journey commenced with an auspicious beginning at ASCAP in 1980, where she initially intended to work temporarily. Her tenure at ASCAP quickly transformed into a passion-driven dedication that lasted decades. From those early days, Janice's path would land her through a series of impacted roles, each building on the other. She made her mark at Capitol Records, working with luminaries like Dottie West and Kenny Rogers, under the guidance of Lynn Schultz. Her journey then took a turn towards music publishing when she joined Sister John Music, where she discovered her true calling, working alongside Karen Conrad. Janice's knowledge of the music publishing business grew exponentially. Maypop Music followed, an opportunity to work with Alabama's talented group members and songwriters like Lisa Palace, John Jarrett, and Will Robinson. Throughout her journey, mentors like Kevin Lamb continued to guide her, fostering her growth from Maypop to peer music and beyond. Janice's influence extended to Almo Irving, where her collaboration with songwriters like Mike Reed, Kent Robbins, Annie Roboff, and Craig Wiseman flourished. Her stories resonated with moments like being entrusted with handling the Dire Straits Productions checkbook. Boy, I'd like to have done that. And even, I would have, and even helping the legendary Mark Knopfler navigate, I've never seen that word. Anyway, it helped him navigate. Now you ask Kay, I did go to school. With each chapter, what is that word? Thank you. And he's a baby and he knows it. Okay, helping the legendary Mark Knopfler navigate the mundanities of errands. With each, stop it. With each, I'm old, y'all, stop it. With each chapter, Janice's expertise, I got that one, deepened. Her impact grew, and her journey led her to the Writer's Den and eventually to form her own venture, Travelers Hollow Music. Her client base, now over 100 strong, includes names like Diamond Rio, Toby Keith, and the Statler Brothers, a testament to her unparalleled dedication. Outside the world of music, Janice's passions are just as vibrant. An English Bull Terrier enthusiast, she's bred, trained, and shown them majestic creatures everywhere, even serving as a board member of the Bull Terrier Club of the Southeast. Janice, here's a friend that can't wait to congratulate you.
Hello all, good evening to everybody. Hello Janice. I know this is quite a big deal for you from the Source charity. They tell me this is the equivalent of a Lifetime Achievement Award. So I hope I don't mess up, get it right. Know that you've spent many years doing good things in publishing in Nashville, and going back to the days when you were working for David Conrad at Almo. And My travels used to take me to town quite a bit, and it's you that I have to thank for all the stuff that you did on my behalf when I was there. Including, you may remember, I had an unforgettable night at Waylon's house. And Chet was there, and Don Gibson was there, and Roger Miller was there, and everybody was singing and having a good time. And I'd been admiring an old Chevy pickup that was outside, not in great condition, but I do remember the next day, Chet was looking for something in a drawer, and he said, "Waylon says you can have that old truck." And I was flabbergasted. But it was you, Janice, who had to go down to City Hall or the Department of Motor Vehicles or wherever it was, licensing in Nashville, and get the paperwork for that old Chevy truck, 1950 Chevy truck, which I've still got, by the way, in treasure. So when they called out, "Waylon Jennings," it was you who had to go up to the counter and get the truck. And you remember you saying, well, you hope people weren't too disappointed when Waylon didn't show up to pick it up. But anyway, thank you very much for everything over the years, Janice, and I wish you very many happy more years left in music and in everything else. Lots of love. All the best.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help us welcome to the stage 2023 Source Hall of Fame inductee Janice Jackson.
It's been something. See if I can get this thing to work. Okay. Let me start by thanking the wonderful women of Source for this award. It's an incredible honor to be acknowledged for something you've worked at for so long. I am truly humbled. In fact, when Karen Conrad called to give me the news, I told her I don't think I qualify, but she said, "Oh, yes, you do." It's because of Karen, her husband David, and my other remarkable mentors that I'm here. I have always loved music. Growing up, it was a constant in our home. I and my sister Vicky, who's here tonight, would listen to albums on the plastic turntable in the room we shared for hours while playing board games. I attended my first concert in this very building in 1975. My mother dropped off my best friend Allison and I, since we were too young to drive. Allison's also here tonight. We came to see Olivia Newton-John, and her opening act was an up-and-coming piano player named Billy Joel. It was the first of many concerts I've enjoyed over the years. We lost Mom to Alzheimer's almost a decade ago. At the end of her time, she couldn't recall my name or the fact that I was her daughter. But the heart doesn't forget, so she knew she loved me, but not much else. During those last few months, I would often play music for her, and we would both sing along. She couldn't remember me, but she could always remember the lyrics to the songs she loved. And that, my friends, is the power of music. I was home for summer break after my freshman year at college when I was lucky enough to be hired at ASCAP. It was the best introduction to the music business I could have asked for. I have ASCAP to thank for the opportunity to meet so many of the people who would later play a part in my career. Karen Conrad hired me for my first job in music publishing, which is where I met Bobby Reimer. Bobby made the trip from Las Vegas to be here tonight. Thank you, Bobby. Our careers took a parallel path as we went on to work together at Almo Irving Music for almost 10 years, and later Bobby hired me to handle administration at Writers Den Music Group. While at Almo Irving, I was privileged to attend Harlan Howard's birthday bash on several occasions. Little did I know that years later my company would be administering his catalog on behalf of several of his heirs. Prior to being at Almo Irving, another of my mentors, Kevin Lamb, hired me to work at Alabama's publishing company, Maypop Music. With Kevin's encouragement, while in my 20s, I ran for the board of directors of the Academy of Country Music, and I was elected. I had the distinct pleasure of attending a Los Angeles Dodgers game while in LA for the ACM Awards one year. My cohort at the time had an extra pair of tickets and had the gumption to ask George Strait if he would like to use them. So we ended up sitting with George and Norma at the game. Afterwards, George wanted to go up to the stadium club. Unfortunately, we were denied entrance because George was wearing jeans and a baseball cap, which didn't fit the dress code. To my surprise and utter admiration, George said, "Okay," and turned and left. I often wonder how that doorman would feel if he knew who he turned away that night. Another highlight of my tenure at Maypop was singing on stage with the group Alabama at Starwood. My fellow inductee and dear friend Banky Shanks was also there that night. I had the privilege of working with Becky again at Peer Music. She's been a true and supportive friend through it all. Earlier this summer, I had a breakfast meeting with a couple of clients and one of their writers. This writer-artist has had a very successful career over the years and has been signed to many publishers along the way. He brought up the subject of registrations and mentioned that he'd hired someone to go over his vast songwriting catalog to make sure all the songs had been registered. He said she'd found several omissions. However, surprisingly, this one independent publisher's records were in great shape. I asked him if he knew who administered that catalog. He said, "Is it you?" And I nodded. And he responded, "Kudos to you for a job well done." Needless to say, that made my day. I wouldn't be here without the help and encouragement of so many. In addition to those I've already mentioned, the following are here with me tonight. My sweet friend Patricia, who is invaluable in helping me set up my QuickBooks and still to this day helps me when I encounter problems. My good friends Rinalda and Gina. Who knew when we met at ASCAP so many years ago that we'd still be such good friends decades later? My dear friend Rita, who knew and still knows nothing about the music business, but has always been there to provide unbiased feedback. I'd like to reiterate my thanks to my sister Vicki and my BFF Allison for their support and encouragement through the years. There are so many others. I do not have a business website, nor is my company on social media. All of my business is by referral, and I have many, many people to thank for that. So in closing, to my fellow Source Hall of Fame inductees, both past and present, allow me to borrow a phrase from Rodney Crowell. Kudos to you for a job well done.